the company decided to enlarge its production facilities. He decided to enlist in the army to serve his country. Ennui. The monotonous routine of his job brought ennui into his life. Enormous. The enormous building towered over the city skyline. Inquire. He called to inquire about the availability of tickets. Enrich. The cultural exchange program aimed to enrich students' experiences. Enroll. She decided to enroll in a language course to improve her skills. En route. They stopped at a restaurant en route to their destination. Ensure. Please ensure that all doors are locked before leaving. Entail. The project will entail extensive research and planning. Enter. She entered the room with a confident smile. Enterprise. The new enterprise aimed to revolutionize the technology industry. Entertain. The comedian's jokes entertained the entire audience. Enthrall. The magical performance enthralled the audience. Enthusiasm. Her enthusiasm for the project was contagious. Entice. The restaurant enticed customers with its delicious menu. Entitle. The ticket will entitle you to attend the concert. Entrance. The grand entrance of the palace impressed visitors. Entreat. He entreated his friend to help him in his time of need. Entrepreneur. The young entrepreneur started her own successful business. Enumerate. He took the time to enumerate all the reasons for his decision. Environment. The company is committed to protecting the environment. Envisage. He could envisage a bright future for the organization. Envision. The visionary artist could envision the final artwork in her mind. Epidemic. The health authorities worked to contain the flu epidemic. Epiphany. The sudden realization brought about an epiphany. Equal. The law ensures that all citizens are treated as equals. Equanimity. She faced the challenging situation with equanimity. Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea is located in Central Africa. Equilibrium. The market reached a state of equilibrium after the fluctuations. Equip. The company invested in new technology to equip its employees. Equipment. The laboratory had state-of-the-art equipment for research. Equity. They had to share the equity of the company among the partners. Equivalent. The two formulas were equivalent in their results. Equivocal. His equivocal response left us uncertain about his intentions. Equivocate. The politician tried to equivocate when asked about the controversial topic. Era. The Renaissance era was known for its cultural achievements. Eradicate. The organization aimed to eradicate poverty in the region. Eritrea. Eritrea is a country in the Horn of Africa. Erode. The river slowly eroded the rock formations over time. Erratic. The weather was erratic, with sudden changes in temperature. Error. The error in the calculation led to inaccurate results. Ersatz. The ersatz coffee failed to match the taste of real coffee. Escalate. The conflict between the two countries continued to escalate. Escalator. She rode the escalator to the second floor of the mall. Escape. He managed to escape from the locked room. Eschew. He chose to eschew materialistic possessions and live a simple life. Esoteric. The scientific theory was too esoteric for the general public to understand. Essay. She wrote an essay on the benefits of recycling. Essential. Water is essential for human survival. Establish. The company plans to establish a new branch in the city. Establishment. The establishment of diplomatic relations strengthened ties between the countries. Estate. He inherited a large estate from his grandparents. Estate car. The estate car had plenty of space to carry luggage and groceries. Esteem. He held his mentor in high esteem for the guidance provided. Estimate. The builder gave an estimate for the cost of the construction. Estonia. Estonia is a Baltic country in Northern Europe. Eswatini, Swaziland. Eswatini, formerly known as Swaziland, is a country in southern Africa. ETA, estimated time of arrival. The ETA of the package was provided by the shipping company. ETD, estimated time of departure. The airline announced a delay in the ETD due to technical issues. Eternal. The love between the two was eternal and unwavering. Ethernet. The office network was connected through Ethernet cables. Ethics. The company's strict code of ethics ensured fair practices. Ethiopia. Ethiopia is a country in the Horn of Africa. Euphemism. Using a euphemism, she gently conveyed the sad news. Eurostar. They traveled to Paris on the Eurostar train. Evacuate. The residents were forced to evacuate due to the approaching hurricane. Evade. He tried to evade the question and change the topic. Evaluate. They needed to evaluate the performance of the new product. Evaluation. The teacher's evaluation provided constructive feedback to the students. Evanescent. The evanescent beauty of the sunset was a sight to behold. The water will evaporate under the scorching sun. Event. The charity organized a fundraising event for a noble cause. Evidence. The detective collected evidence to solve the crime. Evident. The evident smile on her face showed her happiness. Evidently, the new policy had positive effects on the economy. Evil. The villain in the story was portrayed as an embodiment of evil. Evoke. The song had the power to evoke strong emotions in the listeners. Evolve. The technology continued to evolve over time. X-Factory. The price of the product was quoted X-Factory. Exacerbate. The harsh weather conditions exacerbated the difficulties for the homeless. Exactly. He followed the instructions exactly to complete the task. Exaggerate. He tends to exaggerate his achievements to impress others. Examination. The students prepared diligently for the final examination. Examine. The doctor will examine the patient thoroughly. Example. She provided an example to illustrate her point. Exasperate. Her constant complaints began to exasperate her friends. Exceed. The sales of the new product exceeded all expectations. Excel. She excelled in her studies and received top grades. Exception. He made an exception and allowed her to stay longer. Exceptional. Her performance in the competition was exceptional, earning her a standing ovation. Excerpt. The article includes an excerpt from the famous author's latest book. Excess. The company had to dispose of excess inventory to make room for new products. Excessive. His excessive spending habits led to financial troubles. Exchange. They decided to exchange their currency for the local currency. Exchange rate. The exchange rate between the two currencies fluctuated daily. Excited. The children were excited about the upcoming field trip. Excitement. The excitement in the air was palpable as the concert started. Exclaim. He couldn't contain his surprise and excitement, exclaiming loudly. Exclude. The policy excluded certain items from the insurance coverage. Exclusively, the luxury resort was reserved exclusively for VIP guests. Exculpate. The evidence presented in court helped exculpate the defendant. Excuse. She made up a lame excuse for being late to the meeting. Execute. The project manager planned to execute the project within the given timeframe. Executive. The executive team was responsible for making strategic decisions. Exegesis. The professor presented an in-depth exegesis of the ancient text. Exemplify. The successful entrepreneur exemplified hard work and determination. Exemption. Students with exceptional grades received an exemption from the final exam. Exercise. Regular exercise is essential for maintaining good health. Exert. She had to exert a lot of effort to complete the challenging task. Exhaust pipe. The mechanic fixed the car's exhaust pipe, which was causing the noise. Exhaust system. The new exhaust system improved the car's performance. Exhausted. After running a marathon, he felt completely exhausted. Exhibit. The museum displayed an impressive exhibit of ancient artifacts. Exhibition. The art exhibition showcased works by renowned artists. Exhilarate. The thrilling roller coaster ride exhilarated the participants. Exhort. The coach exhorted the team to give their best in the final match. Exist. The ancient ruins exist as a testament to the past civilization. Existence. The existence of extraterrestrial life remains a mystery. Exit. The emergency exit provided a quick escape route. Exonerate. New evidence emerged that would likely exonerate the accused. Expand. The company decided to expand its operations to new markets. Expanding. The expanding population posed challenges for urban planning. Expect. The investors expect a positive return on their investment. Expectantly. She waited expectantly for the announcement of the winner. Expectation. The high expectations of the audience put pressure on the performers. Expedient. The temporary solution was expedient but not ideal. Expedite. The team worked overtime to expedite the completion of the project. Expel. The school decided to expel the student for violating the rules. Expel. The engine expelled smoke from the exhaust. Expend. He carefully monitored how he would expend his monthly budget. Expenditure. The government announced a reduction in public expenditure. Expense. The unexpected car repair was an unplanned expense. Expensive. The designer handbag was too expensive for her budget. Experience. She shared her travel experience with the group. Experiment. The scientists conducted an experiment to test their hypothesis. Expert. The expert provided valuable insights into the market trends. Expertise. Her expertise in computer programming landed her a job at a tech company. Expiate. He sought to expiate his guilt by making amends for his mistakes. Expire. The coupon will expire at the end of the month. Explain. The teacher used diagrams to explain complex concepts. Explanation. She offered a detailed explanation of the scientific theory. Explicitly. The contract explicitly stated the terms and conditions. Exploit. The company tried to exploit loopholes in the tax regulations. Explore. They set out to explore the uncharted territory. Export. The country exported its agricultural products to neighboring countries. Export. He selected Export from the menu to save the file in a different format. Export license. The company obtained an export license to sell products overseas. Exporter. The event brought together various exporters from different industries. Expose. The documentary aimed to expose corruption within the government. Express. She used expressive body language to convey her emotions. Expression. The artist's painting was an expression of her inner thoughts. Expressway. The new expressway reduced travel time between two cities. Expunge. The court order required the authorities to expunge the criminal record. Exquisite. The jewelry displayed in the store was exquisite and finely crafted. Extant. Only a few extant copies of the ancient manuscript remain. Extend. They decided to extend the deadline for the project. Extension. The company requested an extension to complete the construction. Extensive. The research involved extensive data analysis. Extensively. The topic was extensively covered in the conference presentations. Extent. The extent of the damage caused by the earthquake was substantial. External. The company faced external challenges from the competitive market. External. He connected an external hard drive to store additional data. External debt. The country struggled to repay its external debt. Extirpate. The invasive species needed to be extirpated to protect the ecosystem. Extol. The professor would often extol the virtues of critical thinking. Extract. The chemist extracted essential oils from the plants. Extraordinary. The artist's talent was nothing short of extraordinary. Extrapolate. The researcher extrapolated the findings to predict future trends. Extremely. The mountain climbers found the weather conditions extremely challenging. Exult. They exulted in their team's victory. Eye. She caught his eye across the crowded room. Eyeballs. The eyeballs of the statue seemed to follow you as you moved. Eyebrow. She raised her eyebrow in surprise. Eyelash. The mascara made her eyelashes look longer. Fabricate. He tried to fabricate an excuse to skip the meeting. Fabulous. The fashion show featured fabulous designs from top designers. Face. She had a cheerful face that brightened up everyone's day. Facetious. His facetious remarks often got him into trouble. Facile. She found the math problem facile and quickly solved it. Facilitate. The new software will facilitate data management. Facilities. The university offers state-of-the-art facilities for its students. Facility. The new facility will serve as a research center. Fact. The facts presented in the report were accurate. Factor. The weather was a major factor in their decision to cancel the event. Fail. Despite his efforts, he did not fail to impress the audience. Failure. The failure of the project taught valuable lessons for future endeavors. Fainting. She felt dizzy and was on the verge of fainting. Fair. The job fair attracted many job seekers and employers. Fairly. The exam was fairly challenging, but she managed to pass. Fairness. The fairness of the trial was questioned by some. Faithful. The dog remained faithful to its owner, even in difficult times. Fall. The leaves fall from the trees in autumn. Fallacy. The argument was based on a logical fallacy. Fame. His exceptional talent brought him fame and recognition. Familiarize. The new employee took some time to familiarize herself with the company policies. Family. They went on a family vacation to the beach. Famous. The restaurant is famous for its delicious seafood. Famously. The scientist is famously known for her groundbreaking research. Fan. The fan provided relief from the summer heat. Fancy. She decided to wear her fancy dress to the party. Fantastic. The movie received fantastic reviews from critics. Far. They traveled far to reach their destination. Fare. The fare for the bus ride was reasonable. Farmer. The farmer worked hard to harvest his crops. FAS. Free alongside ship. The goods were sold FAS. Meaning the seller delivers them alongside the ship. Fascinate. The documentary about marine life fascinated the viewers. Fashion. The fashion industry is known for its ever-changing trends. Fast. He ran as fast as he could to catch the train. Fast. The computer's processing speed was very fast. Fat. The food was high in fat and calories. Fatally. The accident resulted in 2 fatalities. Father. His father was proud of his achievements. Fathom. He couldn't fathom why she made such a decision. Fathom. The submarine can dive up to a depth of 300 fathoms. The long hike, they felt a sense of fatigue. Fault. The earthquake caused a fault in the ground. Favor. She asked for a favor from her friend. Fax. He sent the document to the office via fax. Fax. The fax machine was used to transmit important documents. Phase. The unexpected news did not faze him at all. FCA. Free carrier. The shipment was arranged under the terms FCA. FCL. Full container load. They opted for FCL shipping for their goods. Fear. The fear of failure held him back from taking risks. Fear. She feared the unknown and hesitated to explore new opportunities. Fearful. The child was fearful of the dark. Fearless. The fearless firefighter rushed into the burning building to rescue people. Feasible. The proposed plan was feasible and could be implemented. Feature. The smartphone had several advanced features. Fecund. The fertile land was fecund, yielding abundant crops. Fecund. Her fecund imagination allowed her to create captivating stories. Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is responsible for monetary policy in the United States. Fee. The lawyer charged a consultation fee for his services. Feedback. The company collected feedback from customers to improve their products. Feel. She could feel the sand between her toes at the beach. Feeling. The feeling of joy overwhelmed her when she received the news. Feign. He tried to feign innocence, but everyone knew he was guilty. Feisty. The small dog had a feisty personality. Always ready to play. Felony. The crime was serious enough to be classified as a felony. Fend. He had to fend off the attackers during the street fight. Fender. The car's fender was damaged in the accident. Fender. She used her guitar's fender as a makeshift drum. Ferris wheel. The Ferris wheel provided a panoramic view of the city. Ferry. They took a ferry across the river to reach the island. Fervent. He was a fervent supporter of the environmental conservation movement. Fetch. The dog eagerly fetched the ball that was thrown. Fetid. The stagnant water emitted a fetid odor. FU, 40-foot equivalent unit, the container ship could carry a maximum of 800 FEUs. Fever. She had a fever and decided to stay home from work. Fickle. The weather in the region was notoriously fickle. Fictitious. The story was purely fictitious and not based on real events. Field. He worked in the field of medicine, specializing in cardiology. Fierce. The fierce competition among the athletes made the event exciting. Fiercely. He defended his position fiercely during the debate. Figure. She sketched a figure of a beautiful landscape. Figure. The company reported a significant increase in sales figures. Fiji. Fiji is an island country in the South Pacific Ocean. File. He saved the document as a PDF file. Fill. She used a funnel to fill the bottle with liquid. Filling station. They stopped at the filling station to refuel the car. Film. They decided to film the movie in a picturesque location. Filter. The water filter removed impurities from the drinking water. Filter. He applied a filter to enhance the photo before posting it online. Filter option. The website allows users to apply different filter options for their search. Filthy. The abandoned house was in a filthy condition. Final. The final decision rested with the board of directors. Finally, after much anticipation, the results were announced. Finance. He studied finance to better understand the stock market. Financial crisis. The country faced a severe financial crisis due to economic instability. Financial data. The analyst reviewed the financial data to assess the company's performance. Financially. She was financially stable and could afford a comfortable lifestyle. Find. He managed to find a solution to the complex problem. Finding. The research findings were published in a scientific journal. Fine. She paid a fine for parking in a no parking zone. Finger. He accidentally cut his finger while slicing vegetables. Finish. She finally managed to finish the book she had been reading. Finland. Finland is known for its beautiful landscapes and natural beauty. Fire. The firefighters quickly extinguished the fire. Firewall. The company implemented a robust firewall to protect its network from cyber threats. Firm. The law firm specialized in corporate law. Firmware. The smartphone's firmware needed updating to fix bugs. First, he arrived first at the finish line and won the race. Fiscal. The government announced new fiscal policies to boost the economy. Fiscal policy. The government used fiscal policy to control inflation. Fish. They went fishing at the nearby lake. Fit. The dress fit perfectly and looked stunning on her. Fitness. He worked hard to improve his fitness and stamina. Fix. He managed to fix the broken chair. Fixed exchange rate. The country maintained a fixed exchange rate to stabilize its currency. Flair. She had a flair for cooking and created delicious dishes. Flaky. The pastry was flaky and crumbled easily. Flash drive. He stored important files on a flash drive for easy access. Flashy. The flashy car attracted a lot of attention. Flat. The tire was flat, so they had to change it. Flaw. The plan had a flaw that needed to be addressed. Flawless. Her performance was flawless, and the audience applauded enthusiastically. Flex. The yoga instructor encouraged students to flex their muscles. Flexibility. The job offered flexibility in work hours, which suited her well. Flexible. The schedule was flexible, allowing him to pursue other interests. Flight. The flight took off smoothly, soaring high above the clouds. Flimsy. The flimsy paper tore easily in the slightest breeze. Flippant. She gave a flippant response, not realizing the seriousness of the situation. Flood. The heavy rain caused a flood that submerged the streets. Floor. The dance floor was packed with enthusiastic dancers. Floppy. The floppy disk was outdated but held nostalgic value for some. Flourish. With hard work and dedication, the business began to flourish. Flourishing. The garden was filled with an array of flourishing flowers. Flow. The river continued to flow gracefully, never stopping. Flower. He presented her with a bouquet of beautiful flowers. Flowery. Her writing style was rich and flowery, full of vivid descriptions. Flu. She caught the flu and had to stay home to recover. Fluctuate. The prices of the stocks fluctuated wildly throughout the day. Fluffy. The fluffy clouds drifted lazily across the sky. Fluster. The unexpected question flustered him, and he stumbled over his words. Fluttering. The butterflies were fluttering around the blooming flowers. Fly. The bird spread its wings and took off to fly in the open sky. Flyover. The new flyover provided a convenient route over the congested junction. Flywheel. The engineer adjusted the flywheel to fine-tune the machine's performance. Fob. Free on board. The goods were sold fob, and the responsibility shifted to the buyer after shipment. Focus. She needed to focus on her studies to pass the exam. Fold. He learned how to fold origami cranes with precision. Folder. She organized her documents neatly in a labeled folder. Follow. Please follow the guidelines to complete the task. Following. The following day, they embarked on their journey. Foment. His provocative speech aimed to foment dissent among the audience. Fond. She felt fond memories flooding back as she visited her childhood home. Fondly. He looked fondly at the old photographs, reminiscing about the past. Font. She chose a stylish font for the invitations to the party. Font size. The font size was too small, making it difficult to read. Food. The aroma of delicious food filled the kitchen. Foolish. It was a foolish decision that led to unnecessary trouble. Foolishly. He foolishly ignored the warnings and got himself into trouble. Foot. The hiker slipped and twisted her foot while climbing the mountain. Football. The stadium was packed with cheering fans for the football match. Footer. He added his contact information to the footer of the email. Footer text. The footer text included copyright information and website links. Forbid. The sign forbids entry without proper authorization. Force. The strong wind force knocked down the trees. Force. The police had to use force to control the riot. Force majeure. The contract had a clause covering unforeseen events like force majeure. Forceful. She delivered a forceful speech that left an impact on the audience. Forecast. The weather forecast predicted rain for the weekend. Forehead. She gently wiped the sweat from her forehead after the workout. Foreign. He was fascinated by foreign cultures and languages. Foreign exchange. He exchanged the local currency for foreign exchange before his trip. Foresee. She could foresee the challenges ahead and prepared accordingly. Foretell. The ancient oracle was believed to foretell the future. Forever. Their love for each other was meant to last forever. Forge. He managed to forge a strong alliance with the neighboring kingdom. Forget. Don't forget to bring your umbrella, it might rain later. Forgive. After much reflection, she decided to forgive him for his mistakes. Forgo. He had to forgo his dream vacation to save money. Forklift. The warehouse used a forklift to move heavy cargo. Form. Please fill out the form with your personal details. Formal. The event required formal attire for all attendees. Formality. Although it was a formality, they still followed the tradition. Formalize. They decided to formalize their partnership with a written agreement. Formally. He was formally introduced as the new CEO of the company. Format. Please save the file in PDF format for easier sharing. Formation. The team practiced their new formation on the field. Formerly known as Tech Solutions, the company rebranded as Innovate Tech. Formidable. The team faced a formidable opponent in the championship match. Formula. The scientist worked tirelessly to find the formula for the new compound. Formula bar. You can enter data directly into the cell using the formula bar. Formulate. They needed to formulate a plan to tackle the challenging project. Forsaken. The old building looked forsaken, with broken windows and overgrown plants. Fortuitous. Their chance encounter turned into a fortuitous friendship. Fortunate. He considered himself fortunate to have such supportive friends. Fortune. The successful entrepreneur amassed a significant fortune. Forward. Please forward the email to the relevant department. Forwarder. The freight forwarder handled the transportation of the goods. Foster. The organization worked to foster a sense of community among its members. Found. They found an abandoned puppy on the street and decided to adopt it. Foundation. The charity aimed to build a strong foundation to support their cause. Four-wheel drive, 4WD, the off-road vehicle was equipped with four-wheel drive for better traction. Fractious. The fractious meeting resulted in heated arguments and little progress. Fracture. He suffered a fracture in his arm after a fall. Fragile. The delicate vase was wrapped carefully due to its fragile nature. Fragment. The archaeologists found a fragment of an ancient artifact. Frame. She proudly displayed the artwork in a beautiful frame. France. They planned a trip to explore the picturesque landscapes of France. Franchise. The popular restaurant chain decided to open a new franchise in the city. Frantic. In a frantic rush. He searched for his lost keys. Fraud. The company took strict measures to prevent fraud. Free. The event offered free entry to all attendees. Free market. The economy operates in a free market with minimal government intervention. Free trade. The agreement promoted free trade between the two nations. Freedom. She treasured the freedom to express herself openly. Freeway. The traffic flowed smoothly on the wide freeway. Freeze. During winter, the lake would freeze, allowing ice skating. Freight. The shipping company handled the freight of goods across the country. Freight forwarder. The freight forwarder coordinated the transportation of goods internationally. Frenetic. The frenetic pace of the city kept everyone on their toes. Frequency. The radio station broadcasted at a frequency of 92.5 MHz. Frequent. He was a frequent visitor to the local library. Frequently. The professor frequently referenced historical events during the lecture. Fresh. She enjoyed the taste of fresh fruits in the morning. Friend. Her loyal friend always stood by her side. Friendly. The warm and friendly staff made the hotel stay enjoyable. Friendship. Their friendship endured through thick and thin. Frightened. The loud noise frightened the little child. Fringe benefits. The company offered various fringe benefits to attract employees. Frivolous. She spent money on frivolous items instead of saving. Front. He stood at the front of the line, eagerly waiting for his turn. Front desk. The receptionist welcomed guests at the front desk. Front seat. She chose the front seat to get a better view of the scenery. Frothy. The barista prepared a frothy cappuccino with delicate latte art. Frown. He couldn't help but frown at the disappointing news. Fruit. The market displayed a colorful array of fresh fruit. Frustrate. His repeated failures began to frustrate him. Frustrating. Dealing with technical issues can be frustrating. FTZ, Free Trade Zone. The FTZ encouraged international trade by providing tax benefits. Fuel. The car required a full tank of fuel for the long journey. Fuel economy. The hybrid car boasted excellent fuel economy. Fuel efficiency. The new engine design improved fuel efficiency. Fuel gauge. He checked the fuel gauge to see if it was time to refill. Fuel injector. The mechanic replaced the faulty fuel injector. Fuel pump. The fuel pump needed replacement to fix the engine issue. Fuel tank. The truck's fuel tank had a capacity of 100 liters. Fuel tank cap. He tightened the fuel tank cap to prevent leaks. Fulfill. The company worked hard to fulfill its customers' orders on time. Full. The restaurant was full, and there was a waiting list. Full truckload, FTL. The shipping company arranged for a full truckload of goods to be delivered. Fully. She fully supported her friend's decision. Fulsome. The speaker gave a fulsome tribute to the organization's achievements. Fun. They had a lot of fun during their vacation. Function. The main function of the heart is to pump blood. Function library. The software came with a function library for various tasks. Fund. The foundation received a significant donation to fund their projects. Fundamental. Basic math skills are fundamental for higher-level calculations. Funding. The startup secured funding from venture capitalists. Funeral. The somber atmosphere filled the room during the funeral. Funny. His jokes always made everyone laugh. He had a funny sense of humor. Furious. She was furious when she discovered the truth. Furiously. The protesters marched furiously, demanding justice. Furnish. They decided to furnish the house with modern furniture. Furniture. The showroom displayed a wide selection of furniture. Furor. The controversial decision caused a furor among the public. Further. To understand the topic better, you need to research further. Fuse. The blown fuse caused the lights to go out. Fuselage. The engineers inspected the aircraft's fuselage for any damage. Futile. Despite his efforts, the attempt proved futile. Future. She looked forward to a bright future filled with opportunities. Futuristic. The new smartphone had a sleek, futuristic design. Gabon. She planned to visit Gabon to explore its diverse wildlife. Gain. He worked hard to gain new skills and knowledge. Gain. The company made a significant gain in market share. Gallbladder. The surgeon successfully removed the diseased gallbladder. Gallery. The art gallery displayed stunning masterpieces from renowned artists. Galvanize. The motivational speech galvanized the team into action. Gambia. They went on a safari adventure in the Gambia. Game. The kids played a thrilling game of hide and seek. Gaming. He enjoyed gaming on his high-end computer setup. Gangrene. The infection led to gangrene in his foot. Gap. There was a noticeable gap between the two buildings. Garage. The car was parked safely inside the garage. Garden. She spent hours tending to her beautiful garden. Garner. The movie garnered critical acclaim and numerous awards. Garrulous. The garrulous old man shared stories from his youth. Gas. The car's gas tank was almost empty. Gastroenteritis. The outbreak of gastroenteritis affected several people. Gate. Please close the gate to keep the animals from escaping. Gateway. The city serves as a gateway to the surrounding tourist attractions. Gather. The family gathered around the table for a hearty meal. Gathering. The annual family gathering was filled with laughter and joy. GATT. General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. The GATT aimed to promote international trade by reducing tariffs. Gauge. The thermometer showed the temperature gauge reaching 30 degrees Celsius. GDP, Gross Domestic Product. The country's GDP experienced steady growth in the last quarter. Gear. He shifted the gear to accelerate the car. Gear. The hiker packed all the necessary gear for the mountain trek. Gear lever. She moved the gear lever to reverse the vehicle. Gear shift. He heard the sound of the gear shift as the car changed gears. Gender. The company promoted gender diversity in the workplace. Gene. The scientist identified the specific gene responsible for the condition. General. The manager provided general instructions for the project. General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, GATT. The General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade aimed to liberalize international trade. General Counsel. The General Counsel provided legal advice to the company. General Manager. The General Manager oversees all operations in the organization. General Manager. She became the General Manager after years of hard work. Generalize. It is essential not to generalize based on limited information. Generally, people prefer warmer climates during winter. Generate. The wind turbines generated electricity from renewable energy. Generation. His generation witnessed significant technological advancements. Gentle. She had a gentle touch that comforted the injured dog. Gently. He opened the door gently not to wake up the sleeping baby. Genuine. Her genuine concern for others made her a beloved friend. Geography. Studying geography helps us understand the Earth's landscapes and ecosystems. Georgia. They explored the historical sites and natural beauty of Georgia. Germany. Germany is known for its rich history and contributions to the arts and sciences. Gesture. He offered a kind gesture by helping her with the heavy bags. Get. Please get the necessary documents ready for the meeting. Ghana. They volunteered to help with community projects in Ghana. Gift. She received a thoughtful gift on her birthday. Gigabyte. The new smartphone boasted a large internal storage capacity of 256 gigabytes. Gigantic. The gigantic cruise ship could carry thousands of passengers. Girl. The little girl was excited to start her first day of school. Give. He decided to give a donation to support the charity. Glad. I'm glad to see you again after so long. Gladly. She gladly accepted the job offer. Glance. He stole a quick glance at the clock to check the time. Glare. The intense glare of the sun made him squint. Glass. He sipped the cold water from the glass. Gleam. The moon's light created a beautiful gleam on the water. Glean. The researchers gleaned valuable insights from the study. Glimpse. He caught a fleeting glimpse of the rare bird in the forest. Glint. The diamond ring sparkled with a bright glint in the sunlight. Glitch. The software glitch caused the program to crash unexpectedly. Global. The company has a global presence with offices in multiple countries. Global economy. The pandemic had a significant impact on the global economy. Global sourcing. The company used global sourcing to find the best suppliers. Globalization. Globalization has connected countries through trade and communication. Glorious. The sunrise over the mountains was a glorious sight to behold. Glossy. The magazine cover had a glossy finish, making it visually appealing. Glove compartment. He kept important documents in the glove compartment of his car. Go. They decided to go on a spontaneous road trip. Goal. His primary goal was to finish the marathon. God. Different cultures have diverse beliefs about God and spirituality. Gold standard. The gold standard was once used to back currencies with gold. Golf. He enjoyed playing golf with his friends on weekends. Gondola. They took a romantic gondola ride through the picturesque canals. Good. She did her best to be a good friend to everyone. Goods. The truck delivered a shipment of goods to the warehouse. Gorge. The hikers marveled at the breathtaking view of the deep gorge. Govern. The elected officials govern the city's policies and regulations. Governance. Transparency and accountability are vital for good governance. Government. The government implemented new laws to protect the environment. GPS, Global Positioning System. The GPS helped them navigate through unfamiliar terrain. Grab. He quickly grabbed his umbrella before heading out into the rain. Graceful. The ballet dancer performed a graceful routine on stage. Grade. She received an A grade for her outstanding essay. Gradual. The colors of the sunset changed gradually over time. Gradually. With practice, he gradually improved his skills. Graduate. She was excited to graduate and start her career. Grand. The grand ballroom was decorated elegantly for the event. Grandmother. His grandmother told him fascinating stories from her past. Grant. The organization received a grant to fund their research. Granular. The data was analyzed at a granular level to find specific patterns. Graph. The data was presented in a clear and informative graph. Graphics. The video game had stunning graphics that enhanced the gameplay. Grasp. He struggled to grasp the complex concept. Grass. The children played happily on the soft grass. Grateful. She felt grateful for all the support she received. Gratify. His accomplishments gratify his parents' hard work. Gratis. The company offered a free trial as a gratis service. Gratuitous. The movie included a gratuitous amount of violence. Gratuity. The restaurant included a service charge, so no gratuity was required. Gravitate. People tend to gravitate toward like-minded individuals. Gravity. The gravity of the situation became apparent as it unfolded. Great. They had a great time at the beach. Greatly. His discovery greatly impacted the field of science. Greece. They explored the ancient ruins in Greece. Greedily. The children greedily devoured the delicious ice cream. Greedy. The greedy businessman always sought to maximize profits. Green. They decided to take a more eco-friendly approach. Greenway. The city invested in creating a greenway for pedestrians and cyclists. Gregarious. He was known for his gregarious personality and love of socializing. Granada. She enjoyed the pristine beaches of Granada during her vacation. Gridlines. The gridlines in the spreadsheet helped align the data. Grievance. He raised a formal grievance about the unfair treatment. Grieve. She needed time to grieve after the loss of her loved one. Grieving. The grieving family received support from friends and neighbors. Grill. The front grille of the car added a stylish touch to its design. Grim. The detective's face turned grim upon discovering the evidence. Grocery. She bought groceries to prepare dinner for the evening. Groomly. He dressed in a groomly manner for his wedding. Gross. The gross sales for the quarter exceeded expectations. Gross. The dirty kitchen was a gross sight to see. Gross national income, GNI. The GNI measures the total income generated by a country's residents. Gross national product, GNP. The GNP indicates the total value of goods and services produced by a country. Gross profit. The company's gross profit showed a healthy margin. Ground. The plane landed safely on the ground. Grounded. He was grounded for breaking curfew. Group. They formed a study group to prepare for the exam. Group objects. In the design software, you can group objects for easier manipulation. Grow. The plant began to grow rapidly with regular watering. Growth. The company experienced steady growth over the years. He grudgingly admitted that he was wrong. Grumble. He couldn't help but grumble about the long wait. Grumpy. He woke up feeling grumpy and irritable. Guarantee. The product came with a money-back guarantee. Guard. The security guard patrolled the building at night. Guatemala. They visited Guatemala to explore its rich cultural heritage. Guess. Can you guess the answer to this riddle? Guest. They welcomed the guests with warm hospitality. Guidance. The mentor provided guidance to the new employee. Guide. He used a map to guide them through the unfamiliar terrain. Guidelines. Please follow the guidelines for submitting your proposal. Guileless. Her guileless demeanor made her trustworthy. Guilty. He felt guilty for breaking his promise. Guinea. They learned about the unique wildlife of Guinea during their safari. Guinea-Bissau. They explored the beautiful beaches of Guinea-Bissau. Guise. He approached them under the guise of friendship. Guitar. He strummed the guitar, creating a melodious tune. Gullible. She was gullible and easily believed in others' lies. Gun. The hunter carried a gun for protection. Gusto. He tackled the project with great gusto and enthusiasm. Guy. The guy next door was always friendly and helpful. Guyana. They visited the stunning waterfalls of Guyana. Habit. She had a habit of reading before bedtime. Hair. She tied her long hair into a neat ponytail. Hairy. The bear had a hairy coat to protect it from the cold. Haiti. They volunteered in Haiti after the earthquake to provide aid. Half. He ate only half of the sandwich and saved the rest for later. Hall. The conference was held in the grand hall of the hotel. Halt. The traffic came to a halt as the parade passed through. Hand. She extended her hand for a friendly handshake. Handbrake. He pulled the handbrake to stop the car on the steep slope. Handle. The suitcase had a sturdy handle for easy carrying. Handlebar. He gripped the handlebar tightly while riding his bike. Handsome. He was a handsome man with striking features. Handy. The multi-tool proved to be very handy during the camping trip. Hang. She decided to hang the picture on the living room wall. Happen. Strange things happen in this mysterious town. Happily. They skipped happily through the meadow, enjoying the sunshine. Happiness. Her laughter reflected the happiness in her heart. Happy. The children were happy to receive gifts on their birthdays. Harangue. He delivered a passionate harangue to rally the crowd. Harass. The company implemented strict policies to prevent workplace harassment. Harassment. She filed a complaint against her coworker for harassment. Harbinger. The dark clouds were a harbinger of the approaching storm. Harbor. The harbor was filled with colorful fishing boats. Hard. He tried hard to solve the challenging puzzle. Hard drive. The computer's hard drive had ample storage for all his files. Hardly. She could hardly believe her eyes when she saw the surprise. Hardship. The family faced many hardships during the difficult times. Hardware. The store sold a wide range of computer hardware. Harm. He promised not to harm the stray cat. Harmful. Excessive exposure to the sun can be harmful to the skin. Harmonious. The choir sang in perfect harmony, creating a harmonious melody. Harmonize. The band worked together to harmonize their voices. Harmonized System, HS. The HS code is used to classify goods for international trade. Harness. They harnessed the power of the wind to generate electricity. Harrowing. The survivors shared their harrowing experiences during the rescue. Harsh. The teacher's harsh words made the student upset. Hasty. He made a hasty decision without considering the consequences. Hat. She wore a stylish hat to protect herself from the sun. Haughty. The haughty attitude of the rich woman offended others. Haul. They managed to haul the heavy box up the stairs. Haunt. The old mansion was rumored to be haunted by ghosts. Have. Do you have any plans for the weekend? Hay fever. He suffered from hay fever during the spring season. Hazard. The warning signs indicated the presence of a hazard. HDMI, high-definition multimedia interface. The TV was connected to the gaming console using an HDMI cable. Head. She turned her head to see who was calling her. Headache. He took a painkiller to relieve his headache. Header. The report had a header with the title and date. Header text. The header text was centered at the top of the document. Headlight. He switched on the headlight to drive safely in the dark. Headphones. She put on her headphones to listen to music on her commute. Headquarters. The company's headquarters were located in the bustling city. Headrest. He adjusted the headrest for better comfort during the long drive. Health. Regular exercise and a balanced diet are essential for good health. Healthy. She maintained a healthy lifestyle by eating nutritious food. Hear. Can you hear the birds chirping in the morning? Heart. The doctor checked his heart rate during the examination. Heart attack. He survived a heart attack with timely medical intervention. Heartbeat. She could feel her heartbeats quicken with excitement. Heartburn. Eating spicy food often gives her heartburn. Heat. They used a heater to warm up the room in winter. Heaven. The view from the mountaintop felt like a glimpse of heaven. Heavy. The suitcase was too heavy for her to carry alone. Heed. He should heed the advice of experienced colleagues. Heel. She wore comfortable shoes with a cushioned heel. Height. The tower's height was an impressive 300 meters. Heighten. The suspenseful music helped heighten the tension in the movie. Helicopter. The helicopter landed on the helipad with a loud whirring sound. Heliport. The building had a heliport on the rooftop for emergency use. Hell. The hot desert felt like a scorching hell. Help. Can you please help me carry this heavy box? Help menu. You can find additional information in the help menu. Helpful. He was always willing to offer helpful advice to his friends. Hemorrhage. The patient's condition worsened due to internal hemorrhage. Hemorrhoids. She sought medical treatment for her painful hemorrhoids. Hence, he missed the train. Hence, he arrived late for the meeting. Here's the book you wanted to borrow. Heretical. His beliefs were considered heretical by the established church. Heroic. The firefighters' heroic actions saved lives during the blaze. Heroically. She heroically jumped into the river to rescue the drowning child. Hesitate. He hesitated before making an important decision. Heterogeneous. The group was a mix of students from diverse backgrounds. Hiatus. The TV show went on hiatus during the summer break. Hidden data. The document contained hidden data that needed to be removed. Hide. The children played hide and seek in the garden. High. He climbed the high mountain to reach the summit. High. The test scores were high, indicating excellent performance. High beam. He switched on the high beam of his car for better visibility. High blood pressure. He needed to monitor his high blood pressure regularly. Highlight. She used a marker to highlight important passages in the book. Highly. The movie was highly praised by the critics. Highway. The highway was congested with traffic during rush hour. Hilarious. The comedy show was hilarious, and everyone laughed out loud. Hill, they enjoyed a picnic on top of the green hill. Hinder, the heavy rain hindered their progress on the hike. Hinge, the door swung open on its rusty hinges. Hint, she gave him a subtle hint about the surprise party. Hip, the stylish belt accentuated her slim waist and hip. Hips, the dress flared gracefully at the hips. Hire, the company decided to hire a new marketing manager. Historian, the historian studied ancient civilizations and their cultures. History, she loved reading books about ancient history. Hit, he hit the ball with full force, sending it soaring. Hitch, they encountered a hitch in their travel plans due to bad weather. Hitch, he gave her a hitch to the concert venue. Hives, she developed hives after eating something she was allergic to. Hoard, the squirrel hoarded nuts for the winter. Hobby, photography became his favorite hobby. Hoist, they used a crane to hoist the heavy equipment. Hold, she asked him to hold her hand for support. Hole, the golf ball rolled into the hole. Scoring a birdie. Holiday, they planned a beach holiday for the summer. Home, she felt comfortable and safe in her cozy home. Home tab, you can find various formatting options in the Home tab. Homework, he spent hours doing his homework to ensure accuracy. Honduras, they explored the beautiful beaches of Honduras during their vacation. Hone, he honed his skills through years of practice. Honest, he was known for his honest and straightforward nature. Honestly, she admitted her mistake honestly and apologized. Honor, the soldier received a medal in honor of his bravery. Honor, he promised to honor the agreement they made. Hood, she pulled up her hood to shield herself from the rain. Hood release, he pressed the hood release lever to open the car's hood. Hope, they held on to hope for a brighter future. Hopefully, the weather will be clear for our outdoor event. Horizon, the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of orange. Horizontal alignment, the text was aligned in a horizontal manner for better readability. Horizontally, he spread out the documents horizontally on the table. Horn, he honked the horn to alert pedestrians. Horrible, the movie was so bad that it was almost unbearable to watch. Horrify, the gruesome scene in the horror movie horrified the audience. Horse, she went for a leisurely ride on a beautiful horse. Hospitable, the host was very hospitable, making them feel welcome. They visited their friend in the hospital after the surgery. Host, the host welcomed the guests warmly to the party. Hostile, the two nations were involved in a hostile dispute. Hot, the steaming hot coffee warmed her hands. Hotel, they stayed at a luxurious hotel during their vacation. Hour, the meeting lasted for an hour. Hourly, he was paid an hourly wage for his work. House, they moved into their new house with excitement. Housing, affordable housing was a critical issue in the city. Hovercraft, the hovercraft glided smoothly over the water. HR, human resources. The HR department handles employee-related matters. HTML, hypertext markup language. HTML is used to create and structure web pages. Hubcap, he replaced the damaged hubcap on his car. Hug, she gave her friend a warm hug after a long time apart. Huge, the elephant was huge, towering over the other animals. Hugely, the event was hugely successful, exceeding expectations. Human, humans have the ability to think critically and solve complex problems. Humble, despite his success, he remained humble and down to earth. Humiliate, she felt humiliated after the embarrassing incident. Humor, his sense of humor always brought smiles to people's faces. Humorous, the comedian's humorous anecdotes had the audience in stitches. Humorously, she recounted the mishap humorously, turning it into a funny story. Hungary, they traveled to Hungary to explore its rich history and culture. Hungry. He felt hungry after a long day of work. Hunt. They went on a hunting trip in the wilderness. Hurdle. The athlete cleared the final hurdle and won the race. Hurl. He angrily hurled the book across the room. Hurriedly. He rushed hurriedly to catch the bus. Hurt. She was hurt by his hurtful words. Husband. Her husband surprised her with a bouquet of flowers. Hybrid car. He purchased a hybrid car to reduce his carbon footprint. Hydraulics. The heavy machinery was operated using hydraulic systems. Hydrofoil. They enjoyed a smooth ride on the hydrofoil ferry. Hyperlink. The web page had a hyperlink to direct users to more information. Hypothesize. Scientists hypothesize about the potential outcomes of their experiments. Hypothetical. She presented a hypothetical scenario to illustrate her point. Iceland. They explored the stunning landscapes of Iceland. Icon. The email icon displayed a red notification. Icon bar. The icon bar contained shortcuts to frequently used applications. Iconoclast. The artist was known as an iconoclast, challenging traditional art forms. Idea. He came up with a brilliant idea for the project. Ideal. She aspired to create the ideal work environment for her team. Identically. The two twins looked almost identically alike. Identification. The security guard checked everyone's identification at the entrance. Identify. She could identify various bird species by their calls. Ignite. He used a matchstick to ignite the campfire. Ignition. He turned the key in the ignition to start the car. Ignorance. Her ignorance of the subject was evident during the discussion. Ignore. He chose to ignore the negative comments and focused on his goals. Ill. She felt ill and decided to stay home and rest. Illicit. The smuggler engaged in illicit activities to avoid detection. Illuminate. The candles illuminated the room with a warm glow. Illusion. The magician created the illusion of a floating object. Illustrate. He used diagrams to illustrate his presentation. Image. The artist created a beautiful image of a serene landscape. Image. The politician's public image greatly influenced public opinion. Image. The camera captured a clear image of the majestic mountain. Imagination. Children have vivid imaginations and can create amazing stories. Imaginative. The imaginative writer crafted a captivating fantasy novel. Imagine. She could only imagine the challenges they faced. Immediate. The immediate response to the emergency saved lives. Immediately. He acted immediately upon hearing the alarm. Immense. The vast desert stretched out before them, an immense expanse. Immensely. He was immensely proud of his daughter's achievements. Immerse. She decided to immerse herself in the local culture during her travels. Immigrant. The immigrant family started a new life in a foreign land. Immune system. A healthy immune system helps the body fight off infections. Immunity. The diplomat had diplomatic immunity from prosecution. Immutable. The rules were immutable and could not be changed. Impact. The earthquake had a significant impact on the city. Impair. The injury impaired his ability to walk. Impart. He wanted to impart his knowledge and skills to the next generation. Impartial. The judge ensured an impartial trial for both parties. Impassioned. Her impassioned speech moved the audience to tears. Impecunious. He came from an impecunious background but worked hard to succeed. Impede. The roadwork impeded traffic flow in the area. Perfectly. The drawing was imperfectly sketched, but it had a unique charm. Impersonally. He delivered the news in an impersonal manner. Imperturbable. Despite the chaos around him, he remained imperturbable. Impervious. The raincoat was impervious to water, keeping him dry. Impetuous. Her impetuous decision led to unforeseen consequences. Implacable. the enemy seemed implacable, refusing any negotiation. Implement. They decided to implement the new policy immediately. Implementation. The successful implementation of the plan led to positive outcomes. Implicate. The evidence seemed to implicate him in the crime. Imply. She didn't explicitly say it, but her words seemed to imply it. Impolitely. He spoke impolitely to the customer, causing offense. Import. The company decided to import goods from overseas. Import. He emphasized the import of their friendship. Import data. The software allowed users to import data from various sources. Import duty. They paid a significant import duty on the luxury items. Importance. The importance of education cannot be overstated. Important. It's essential to address the important issues first. Importer. He worked as an importer of exotic goods from Asia. Impose. The government decided to impose new taxes on luxury goods. Impoverish. The economic crisis threatened to impoverish many families. Impress. Her performance on stage impressed the audience. Impressive. The grand architecture of the building was truly impressive. Improper. It was improper to arrive late for the meeting. Improve. He made an effort to improve his public speaking skills. Improvement. The team celebrated the continuous improvement in their performance. Improvise. They had to improvise a solution with limited resources. Impudent. His impudent behavior offended his elders. Impulsively. She impulsively bought a dress she didn't need. She sat in the shade to escape the scorching sun. Inane. The movie's plot was so inane that it didn't make any sense. Inbox. Her email inbox was overflowing with messages. Incendiary. The incendiary device caused a fire in the building. Incentive. The company offered financial incentives to motivate employees. Incessant. The incessant noise from construction made it hard to concentrate. Incident. The police responded to the incident immediately. Incidental. Her injury was incidental to the main event. Incidentals. The hotel bill included incidentals like room service charges. Incite. The provocative speech incited anger among the crowd. Inclination. He had a natural inclination for music from a young age. Incline. The steep incline made the hike challenging. Include. Please remember to include all the necessary documents. Inclusively. The event was open to everyone, inclusively. Incoherent. His speech became incoherent as he grew nervous.